Tom Brady always took team-friendly deals, right? To be
Yes, very much so. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Team guy.
Yes.
How important was that in terms of his success?
I think he has such enormous revenue streams available to him that it doesn't really matter off the field. I think he has so many different ways to make a lot of money. He seems to be one of the few guys who actually made money in crypto before everything went upside down.
Before everything went
so
upside
that's
down.
typical, for these guys. But I don't think that was it. I think there was a lot more turmoil behind the scenes in Tampa than people understood, and that I think really upset the apple cart there. I don't think it was a very comfortable last year there in any way.
Because of coaching?
I think from when he left to coming back with Arians and everything else, I think there was a lot of turmoil there, and I think it hurt the team in a big way.
Here's a question that's interesting. If San Francisco was in Tampa, would he play another year? If Tampa had a San Francisco type of team that
I don't think so.
could win,
You know why?
Would he stay? Would he play another year?
I don't think so. You know why? Because I think if he had a team like San Francisco, he would have retired because he would have just won the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's fair too. He would have
Guys
won
like
another one.
Tom Brady usually have somebody that they talk to who they trust. And I think somebody might have said, Tom, it's time.
Right.
And I think it is time. I think this is a smart time to go. I don't think there were any more Super Bowls. Right. And I think...
Even if he went back to the Niners?
I tell you, with the Niners, it was going to be not automatic by any stretch.
But they had a
possible.
chance.
What possible, absolutely. But it's hard to win Super Bowls. Everything has to click right. It's hard to get there. Look at the end of the game with Cincinnati and Kansas City. I mean, a flag decides who goes.
A flag.
I mean, it's so hard to get to a Super Bowl.
You two, can I get to the both of you thought that was a lousy call?
No. I don't think it was a lousy
Mike
call.
did.
I don't think it was a lousy call.
I don't think it was a lousy call either. But I don't like a guy pulling a flag out and deciding who gets a championship.
That's what we see. This is what we say.
I
This
disagree.
is what we say right here. That's
I
us.
disagree
It's
with
right here.
I
That's where we
disagree with
are.
both of you.
The
You have to call that.
The officials in the NBA and the NFL made more news this weekend than they should have.
Right. When
That's
I reach
But that's
back,
what we're saying.
I realize I am sending this team to the Super Bowl when I throw this. If I don't, we're going overtime.
That's right.
So no harm, no foul. I hate that the flag came out.
That was a penalty, though.
Yeah.
It is a
15
And it was an
yards.
obvious one.
15 yards.
And on one leg, Mahomes, he's getting the call. Let's be honest.
Doug, let me ask you this. When we talk 7 Super Bowl rings, and you mentioned a guy like Mahomes, 7's pretty much unattainable. All right, I'm gonna go out on.
It's going to be hard because you realize he won a couple of them that easily could have lost too.
Yeah, how close?
Seattle.
How close, Dog, do you think someone
Atlanta.
can get to 7?
I think it's asking a lot. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win this one. I think Mahomes win a couple of more. I think the combination of him and Belichick, the fact they could dominate the AFC East, have all those home games, they seem to have Manning's number.
Right.
I think all of that played into it. I don't know if Mahomes, and I think you play more playoff games now than you did then because you got the extra team. There's only one home field advantage for the one team. There used to be 2 byes, now there's 1. I think everything is a little trickier, so I don't think anybody. I think Mahomes will get to 3 or 4.
I think
don't
the
think anybody's getting to
barrier
7.
historically is 4. I think 4 has shown up as the barrier. Brady broke the barrier. I don't think anybody else gets close.
I agree, particularly with the parity that exists in today's NFL and how violent the sport is, how concerned they are, especially, we got to take this into consideration as well. You got to remember, back in the day, you played under conditions they won't allow you to play under now. In terms of you can get concussed, you go back out on the field. They don't allow that anymore. So because of that, there's so many barriers that get in the way that are prohibitive for you going over that
And it's
4.
a
I think
war
4
of
is the right
attrition.
number.
You have to be healthy. You have to get lucky and stay healthy.
Right.
Look what happened to San Francisco, losing 2 quarterbacks. I mean, they were a good team this year.
Right.
I don't think they would have beaten the Eagles, but the bottom line is they would have played them well. That defense was really good. That team was really good.
Well,
you can't play without a quarterback.
Let me say this to the both of you. I will say this, and I agree with you about the 4 being the barrier, number 4. When I watch Mahomes this year,
because I think
Well, I hadn't heard about that 4 barrier either, so he's right on that.
But I looked at Tyreek Hill. I think Tyreek Hill is sensational.
So do I.
And for him to be gone from Kansas City, and Kansas City to be number 1 in points, number 1 in yards, number 1 passing attack in the NFL, I'm looking at Mahomes and I'm saying, yeah, I got him getting 4. I don't have him getting more than that. But in the same breath, if anybody could pull it off, it's him.
Andy Reid's getting old, though. You know that? And Andy Reid's a big part of that, why that offense works.
Yes.
A big part.
I think we saw, too, in this postseason, Mahomes, Forget Josh Allen, and I love Burrow. Forget him too. Mahomes is by far maybe a little strong. He's solidly the best quarterback in football.
He's real good.
We thought the three of them were a little closer. I think we saw in these postseasons that might not be the case.
I think Burrow surprisingly didn't have a lot of protection in that game. He still throws a great ball.
He does.
And he doesn't have protection. He didn't have protection last year.
He is deadly accurate.
He didn't have protection last year.
Gentlemen, can I get back to coaching? Because you mentioned Andy Reid. And, Mike, I want to get your thoughts on that Brady-Belichick debate and where you are. How much of it are you crediting to Belichick in his coaching or Tom and his talent?
It's still a game you play with players. The player comes first. Belichick needed Brady more than Brady needed Belichick. That's just the way it works because Belichick doesn't play. So it still comes down to the player. More than, not that the coach doesn't make, and in football, the coach is a bigger factor than in any other sport. And Belichick is a brilliant coach, a brilliant tactician, and changed the way football is run because he completely changed the way teams prepare for games. But Brady is the bigger factor.
I'll tell you where I jump in on that. When I think about Belichick, obviously I think he's phenomenal, great coach, no question about it. But I also think about you lucked up against Seattle because there was nowhere on earth that Pete Carroll and Bevel should have threw that pass.
Kind of not Brady is the best Super Bowl quarterback.
But you need the coach-quarterback combination.
I agree.
Brown and Otto Graham.
Yes.
Walsh and Montana.
Right.
Starr and Lombardi.
Nolan Bradshaw.
Mad Dog, this is
Nolan Bradshaw.
This is the greatest coach-player combo, though, right?
I'd have to call it that. Belichick.
Oh,
Brady.
I think the only one that could come close would be
Walsh and Montana.
Would be well, even Young did a lot, but I would think, unless you're going to go back to, they don't like to go back to Otto or anything.
Well, you could go Paul Brown, Otto Graham.
We can go back.
That's
Yeah,
really
we can
it.
go back.
That's important.
For a little
That
bit.
one,
For a little bit.
and then Walsh and Montana, obviously. But this is it. I mean, they kept getting there, which is the key. They kept getting there,
right.
and that's the thing.
I didn't hear y'all bring up Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman, even though Barry
good one.
Switzer was the third.
That's a good one,
All right,
too.
you didn't bring up Nolan and
That's a very
Bradshaw.
good one.
I brought
Although
up that
Bradshaw
one.
didn't like
I didn't
Nolan.
hear you, Mr. Francesa, bring up Coughlin and Eli Manning.
Well, they won
I just want to
twice.
throw that out there.
But remember, they stopped Tom Brady twice too.
Yes, they did.
Think about what
that
Tom's
defense.
career looks like if it's not for Eli Manning.
Now, I would also say you meant that they got lucky a couple times. Although they were outplayed, they also got unlucky a couple times. They could have won that first Giant game. Bull hit his helmet.
No question.
They could have won that. So maybe that makes up the Seattle game.
Yeah.
And Chuck Noll, there's certain guys, for whatever reason, get lost in history. Noll has gotten lost.
Oh, he does.
Absolutely.
He is an incredible
Absolutely.
coach.
Without question.
Steelers won 2 with defense
That's
and
right.
2
And
with
2 with
offense.
offense.
That's right.
That's how they won.
That's right.
See, now you know we're him and I.
Swan,
Now you know.
Swan,
Let me ask you
Stallworth,
this.
Rocky Blyer, Franco Harris, with Bradshaw. Yes, that offense.
When
yes, I
players
remember.
retire, folks are often emotional. We're not going to see these great players anymore. I saw a little emotion on Get Up. Do you feel celebratory right now?
Well, I think the problem that you have with Brady is you probably saw it coming, and he gave you a little of this thing last year. So, all right, he retired last year for 2 months, so he did a little wax poetic about it, your favorite phrase. And then he did it again, and you kind of expect him to. So I am not as wrapped up in it as I would have been, say, if it was 4 years ago and he only had done it one time.
Hey, this wheel just keeps on turning. You know what? They replaced Cronkite. They replaced Johnny Carson. They replaced Michael Jordan. They replace everybody. You know that? The world just keeps going on.
You really think they replaced Michael Jordan
They replace everybody.
and Tom Brady?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
LeBron-
The ratings will be great next year in the NFL. They'll be great. That'll be great. The ratings will be great in the Super Bowl
Won't
this
budge.
year.
I know those two feel like a league of their
Absolutely.
own, though.
That's it. But hey, they're great players, but you move on. Everybody's going to have a shelf life. Tom's has been longer than anybody could ever hope for. I mean, playing 23 years in the NFL is absurd.
No,
It really
he
is.
gave us so
He
much.
had 2 careers.
What emotion are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm happy for him. You know, I think he made the right decision. Listen, he's got $375 million.
He's thinking
over the
about
next
how
10
his
years.
book's doing in the ratings. I think that's
Mine?
what
Oh, you
he's
should
about.
see him with that book.
He's a New York
Oh, my
Times
God. That's all he cares about is this
He's
dopey.
not up Amazon.
it.
Oh, that's
That
all
is
you
not
care about.
true.
That's
That
it.
is not
Hey,
true.
Tell him, Molly.
when he did a book, he looked up Amazon every 15 minutes.
Everything.
during the
You
show.
gotta
Every
skip
15
up
Mad
there.
There we go.
I'm number 1
Hey.
this week. Oh, he
Hey,
goes
Mad Dog,
crazy.
ask me what I'm
It is
doing
a
tomorrow
bestseller.
night.
It is a bestseller.
What do you have, a book thing? What do you have?
Hosting a book talk with Stephen A.
Where is
you
this?
You need to be there in New York City.
Whoa.
At one of these bookstores?
Simon.
Oh, I read the
Schuster,
book twice.
excuse
I already
me.
Oh, you
said-
did read the book?
I read the book twice. I got all the questions ready for you.
He
need to
came
be
late
there.
to the show.
I learned
Excuse
He came
me.
late
here
to
in
the
New York
show
City.
because of his stupid book.
How's it stupid? It's a bestseller. Why you keep saying stupid?
Simon.
You didn't call your book
This is-
stupid. All right, stop it.
His book was stupid. Okay.
I'm good. We good. We good.
You know, the second book that I did,
Oh my gosh.
I went out to, what was the place in Huntington, Long Island? Forget what the
Book review.
book review. I went out to
700 people.
We had, and I brought Mike with me.
That's right.
Because the
I
both of
signed
us,
700
700 books that night.
You did
at the
not
book
have
review on
700
Huntington.
people.
One night.
700 books. I signed every one.
Huntington, Long Island.
I didn't get a dime.
There we go.
No, you didn't.
There we go.
I didn't
Oh
give you a
my
nickel. That was
And
that.
you did it, but you knocking me for
Listen,
it.
we are not letting.
I didn't miss shows.
Neither did I.
Yes, you did. You were late.
No. I was early. I left late. I
Hey.
left early.
Hey, General Hospital, Simon & Schuster, this is a sidewalk.
Guys, we're not letting straight shooter trump Mike in the Mad
Not
Dog
at
and Tom
all.
Brady.
Not
Day.
at all.
Not today with straight
Not
shooter.
today.
Every other day, but
Not
not
today.
today.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.